Hey guys, welcome back. I am Ashish and today we'll be continuing with our ideal models and we'll be studying about new models today, which is nothing but fused, prismatic and diffracted. So continuing with our session, the limitations of Agraria Industria model and the criticisms against it forced Riggs to abandon it and construct the fused, prismatic, diffracted model. So what criticisms of Agraria Industria model were, we saw in our last session, and what Fred Riggs did, he acknowledged those criticisms. He said, okay, you are right, and he gave new models. He abandoned his old model of Agraria, Transitia and Industria, and he gave new models with new terminologies, and he called these models as fused, prismatic and diffracted models. In developing this model, Riggs employed the more manageable variables of formalism, heterogeneity and overlapping. We'll study about these in detail in today's session, formalism, heterogeneity and overlapping, but for now just understand that these are more manageable variables than what he used in Agraria Industria model. He did not use any variables as such, right? And Riggs employed these more manageable variables in his new models. The typology of fused, prismatic, diffracted societies is based on the structural functional approach. We have studied what structural functional approach is, right? So these new models were based on this approach. Fred W. Riggs studied some structures and studied some functions that these structures are performing, and he came up with these models. Riggs observed that in some societies a particular structure fulfills only one function, and in this session only we'll see which society he is talking about, but for now just understand that in some societies a particular structure fulfills only one function, and in some societies वन स्ट्रक्चर फुलफिल्स ऑल दी फंक्शंस. कोई एक स्ट्रक्चर होगा वो सारे फंक्शन करेगा, किसी दूसरी सोसाइटी में कोई एक स्ट्रक्चर होगा वो सिर्फ एक ही फंक्शन करेगा. इस तरीके से डिफरेंशिएट किया, एंड दिस इज द डिफरेंशिएशन बिटवीन फ्यूज्ड, प्रिज्मेटिक एंड डिफ्रैक्टेड. वी विल स्टडी इन टुडे सेशन अबाउट दिस इन डिटेल, सो डू नॉट वरी अबाउट दिस. बेस्ड ऑन द डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ द फंक्शंस ऑफ सोशल स्ट्रक्चर्स, Riggs classified societies into hypothetical models of fused, prismatic and diffracted. So these are all hypothetical models, these are all ideal models. ठीक है, ये जो fused, prismatic, diffracted हैं, ये सब ideal models हैं. In a similar way that Agraria, Transitia and Industria were the ideal models. So what was Agraria has now become fused model. So fused is nothing but traditional undeveloped society. Diffracted is nothing but the Industria model. What was Industria now has become diffracted. So diffracted is nothing but modern developed Western societies, and in between these two lies the prismatic thing, which is the developing third world societies. So we'll study this in detail now. We'll study what these models actually are, fused, prismatic and diffracted. So a quick overview of these models. The process of transition of a ray through a prism is taken symbolically to explain the process of transformation of a society. So what Fred W. Riggs does is he takes the process of transition of a ray through a prism. You must have studied in your school about this prism and how a light passes through a prism, right? So Fred W. Riggs took the same example of light passing through a prism and he gave this analogy. ये analogy बना दी Fred W. Riggs ने for his new models. So as you can see, there is a white light which is incident on the prism, and inside the prism the colors get starting separated, and outside the prism when the light comes out the colors are now completely separated. So there is the white light which is fused. Fused का मतलब होता है जुड़ा हुआ होना, something that is fused together. ठीक है, जो जुड़ा हुआ है that is called as fused. So this is a white light which is fused. All the colors are joined together. Inside the prism the colors are starting to separate out. ठीक है, it has not separated out completely, but it has started to separate out, and outside the prism the colors are completely separate. In a similar way, Fred W. Riggs said that a society is fused. In this society, what do you mean by fused? In this society one structure performs all the functions. तो सब कुछ एक ही जगह जुड़ा हुआ है, एक ही स्ट्रक्चर सारे फंक्शन परफॉर्म करेगा. दिस इज अ फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी. ठीक है, एक व्हाइट लाइट की तरह, a white light which is incident on a prism is fused, right? All the colors are joined together. In a similar way, fused society also has joined characteristics. ठीक है, उसमें सब कुछ जुड़ा हुआ होता है, एक ही स्ट्रक्चर सारे फंक्शन परफॉर्म करता है, and that is why you can see just one block here. This is just one structure which is performing all the functions. And also there is a diffracted society. Diffracted society में बहुत सारे structure होते हैं. For each function there is a different structure. For example, there will be a different structure for handling education, or for handling health, or for handling women care, or for handling children. So हर function के लिए एक अलग structure बनाया हुआ होगा, but fused society में हर function एक ही structure करता है. Every function is performed by one structure in fused society, and there is a different structure for every function in a diffracted society. And in between these two societies lie योर प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी विच हैज स्टार्टेड डिफ्रैक्टिंग, ठीक है, उसमें स्टार्ट हुआ है डिफ्रैक्ट होना, तो अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर्स बनना स्टार्ट हुए हैं बट अभी पूरी तरह से अलग हुए नहीं है ये फंक्शंस और स्ट्रक्चर्स, ठीक है, तो इसमें बस स्टार्ट हुआ है. दिस इज अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी वेयर द स्ट्रक्चर्स हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड डिफरेंशिएटिंग. सो आई होप दिस एनालॉजी is clear to you of prism and the societies of fused, prismatic and diffracted. And this point also says here the same thing, that inside a prism there is a process of internal vibration. Inside the prism we are talking about the process of internal vibration of the ray within the prism is called prismatic society. And finally when the ray comes out of the prism it gets diffracted to project a rainbow. So ये जो rainbow बन गया ये diffracted society है, हर कलर सेपरेट हो गया. And the starting point of the ray is termed as fused. ये जो white light है ये fused होती है, बाहर आके diffracted हो जाती है और अंदर जो है उसमें अंदर internal vibrations होते हैं. On the same analogy, various social systems in the early stages of the process of development would be fused. तो जो early stages of process of development होगा उसको बोलेंगे fused stage of development और fused society, क्योंकि ये एक early stage of development है. और transitional stage जो होगा development का उसको बोलेंगे prismatic, और जो final developed society होगी उसको बोलेंगे diffracted society. And this is the analogy taken by Fred W. Riggs. I hope this analogy is clear to you. We'll go into detail into each of these models now. So coming to our fused model first. So we'll see a fused society has no classification of functions. A single structure performs all functions. That is a multifunctional structure. So as I have explained to you in our previous slide, एक ही structure सारे function perform करेगा. There is only one structure which performs all the function. This is the multifunctional structure. There is no classification of functions. ठीक है, एक ही structure सारे function perform करता है, कोई function based classification नहीं हुआ है structures का. So a fused society has no classification of functions. The fused society is structurally undifferentiated and is similar to white light fused. What do you mean by structurally undifferentiated? सिर्फ एक ही स्ट्रक्चर है, स्ट्रक्चर डिफरेंशिएट नहीं हुए हैं, अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर नहीं बने हैं अलग अलग फंक्शन के लिए, सिर्फ एक ही स्ट्रक्चर है. एंड दैट इज वाई दिस सोसाइटी इज स्ट्रक्चरली अनडिफरेंशिएटेड एंड इट इज सिमिलर टू व्हाइट लाइट फ्यूज्ड. वी सॉ दिस इन अ प्रीवियस स्लाइड. फॉर दिस रीजन द क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन और द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ मैल इंटीग्रेशन अमंग सोशल स्ट्रक्चर्स डज नॉट अराइज इन द फ्यूज सोसाइटी. सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय इंटीग्रेशन? अब जब डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी में डिफ्रैक्शन हो जाएगा व्हेन एवरी स्ट्रक्चर इज परफॉर्मिंग जस्ट वन फंक्शन इन अ डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी, तो ऐसे सोसाइटी में कोऑर्डिनेशन होना जरूरी है. देयर शुड बी कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट इंटीग्रेशन. डू नॉट कंफ्यूज दिस वर्ड इंटीग्रेशन विद द वर्ड फ्यूज्ड. फ्यूज्ड का मतलब होता है जुड़ा हुआ होना, सब फंक्शन एक ही स्ट्रक्चर करेगा. एंड इंटीग्रेशन का मतलब होता है अगर आपके पास अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर हैं तो उनके बीच में इंटीग्रेशन होगा, उनके बीच में कोऑर्डिनेशन होगा. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट इंटीग्रेशन. सो डू नॉट कंफ्यूज इंटीग्रेशन विद फ्यूज्ड. ओके, सो व्हाट दिस पॉइंट हियर सेइंग इज इन अ फ्यूज्ड मॉडल देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन, क्योंकि एक ही स्ट्रक्चर है, राइट, एक ही स्ट्रक्चर है तो काय का इंटीग्रेशन, अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर होंगे तो इंटीग्रेशन होगा ना. सो एक फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी में द क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन और द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ मैल इंटीग्रेशन डज नॉट अराइज ऑल टुगेदर. सो दिस सोसाइटी इज स्ट्रक्चरली अनडिफरेंशिएटेड एंड दैट इज व्हाई देयर इज no question of integration at all. So I hope this point is clear to you. These societies heavily depend upon agriculture with no industrialization and modernization. तो एग्रीकल्चर के ऊपर heavily dependent होता है, just like your agraria model. एग्रेरिया मॉडल भी वही था ना जो सोसाइटीज एग्रीकल्चर के ऊपर डिपेंड करती हैं. एंड नाउ फ्यूज्ड मॉडल ऑल्सो हैज द सेम थिंग, इट डिपेंड्स heavily on agriculture, but the definition has changed. We are now defining it in terms of structures and functions. In agraria model we were defining it in terms of agriculture itself. We were saying that societies which focused on agriculture or which dependent on agriculture are called agraria societies, right? But here the definition has changed. The basic idea is the same, that the societies will be dependent on agriculture only, but the definition has changed. We are not defining in terms of structures and functions. So still the societies depend heavily on agriculture with no industrialization and modernization. Communications are weak in the society. People do not have any information about various changes in the society, so communication भी weak होता है. The administrative subsystem in a fused society is called chamber. Now remember this point, this is a very important point, and this is the big difference from agraria industria model to fused diffracted model, because we saw in the limitations of agraria industria model एक limitation सबसे बड़ा ये था कि administrative system पे ध्यान नहीं दिया. They did not consider the administrative system per se. If you remember that from our previous session, they focused only on environment, that this society is agriculture dependent and this society is industrial dependent, but they did not focus on administrative system. So Riggs rectified his mistake. What Riggs said is, inside a fused society there is an administrative system, and he called this administrative system of fused society as chamber. Remember this point, this is a very important point. The administrative subsystem in a fused society is called chamber, and official typically performs a wide range of functions affecting political, administrative and economic activities. तो एक जो ऑफिशियल होता है जो फ्यूज सोसाइटी में जो ब्यूरोक्रेट होता है, द ब्यूरोक्रेट इनसाइड अ फ्यूज सोसाइटी परफॉर्म्स ऑल द फंक्शंस बिकॉज एज वी नो देयर इज ओनली वन स्ट्रक्चर परफॉर्मिंग ऑल द फंक्शंस. तो जो ब्यूरोक्रेट का जो वर्क का स्कोप होता है दैट इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी लार्ज. इट अफेक्ट्स ऑल द एक्टिविटीज, पॉलिटिकल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एंड इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज, एंड द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड चेंबर. द सोसाइटी इज कॉल्ड फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी, और फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी के अंदर होता है आपका चेंबर विच इज द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ दिस फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी. आई होप दिस इज गेटिंग क्लियर टू यू. Fused society is the society and chamber is the administrative subsystem inside this fused society. So moving on with our next point, economic scene in a fused society is of a barter system and kind of price indeterminacy prevails. So we know that this society is heavily dependent on agriculture. There is no industrialization, there is no modernization, right? So that is why there is a barter system in an economic scene. और एक price indeterminacy भी होती है, जो आज किसी चीज का दाम 10 रुपए है तो कल उसका दाम 20 रुपए हो जाएगा, परसों उसका दाम 5 रुपए हो जाएगा. So there is a kind of price indeterminacy that exists within the fused society. I hope this point is clear. Government is not responsible and accountable to people in the society, though public has an obligation to respect the government. तो government जो होती है fused society में वो responsible government नहीं होती, accountable government नहीं होती, लेकिन public को उनकी हर बात माननी पड़ेगी. People have an obligation to respect the government, but government is not responsible and accountable to people. Examples of fused society are traditional agricultural and folk societies, traditional tribal societies, etc. In such a society, the family and the tribal chief perform all the necessary functions such as enforcing rules, settling disputes and caring for health and safety of the community. So what are the examples that you can give? जो राजा होते हैं, जो traditional chief होते हैं, so these kings and tribal chiefs and these tribal agricultural societies, these are the examples of fused society जो ज़्यादा modern नहीं है और ज़्यादा industrialized नहीं है. तो ऐसे societies में जो tribal chief होता है, जो tribal chief performs all the necessary functions, and these are the examples that he performs all the necessary functions because there is only one structure performing all the functions. So he performs the functions of enforcing rules, settling disputes and caring for health and safety. ये सारे function एक ही आदमी करेगा, that is nothing but tribal chief or the king. So this is the example. The administrative system is based on structure of the family and special sects. So ये fused society में कुछ sects होते हैं. What do you mean by sect? Sect is nothing but something of a group or a community that has a common belief system. ठीक है. For example, a cult. ठीक है, तो कल्ट भी एक तरह का सेक्ट होता है. एंड देयर आर मेनी एग्जांपल्स ऑफ सेक्ट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल यू कैन से अ रिलीजियस कम्युनिटी और एनी टाइप ऑफ कम्युनिटी विच हैज अ कॉमन फेथ और कॉमन बिलीफ. तो इस टाइप के सेक्ट जो होते हैं वो एग्जिस्ट करते हैं फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी में. सो सेक्ट्स एग्जिस्ट इन दिस फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटीज एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम ऑफ दिस सोसाइटीज इज बेस्ड ऑन दिस सेक्ट्स, is based on the structure of family and these special sects. I hope this point is clear to you, and remember these points. These are the words that are the keywords. If you are writing any answer about fused model, these are the keywords that you should write. The chamber, this word of chamber, this word of sects, price indeterminacy. So remember these words. These are the keywords. The king and his nominees enjoy the coercive and absolute powers, as we have already talked about. जो king होता है उसके पास absolute power होंगे. The government is not responsible. He will have absolute powers. He will not be accountable to people. He will have coercive powers, which they generally use to protect their own personal interest. तो अपने personal interest को बचाने के लिए वो powers फिर use करते हैं. These societies do not differentiate between justice and injustice, formal and informal setups, and governmental and non-governmental activities. तो इन सब के बीच में भी differentiation नहीं होता. They do not differentiate between these things, justice and injustice, formal and informal में कुछ भी differentiation नहीं करते वो लोग. Ascriptive values play a predominant role in the society, and the behavior of the people would be highly traditional. Age-old customs, beliefs, faith, and traditional ways of living enable people to live together and control their behavior. So ascriptive values जो होते हैं, जो age-old customs हैं, जो पुराने ज़माने से जो norms चले आ रहे हैं, वही नॉर्म्स हम यूज़ करेंगे. पुराने ट्रेडिशंस, पुराने बिलीफ्स, पुराने कस्टम्स, पुराने फेथ. तो ये सब जो एस्क्रिप्टिव वैल्यूज़ हैं ये प्रीडोमिनेंट होती हैं फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी में, बिकॉज दिस सोसाइटी इज़ नॉट मॉडर्न. दैट इज़ वाई एज ओल्ड कस्टम्स एंड एज ओल्ड बिलीव्स आर बीइंग प्रैक्टिस्ड इन दिस सोसाइटी. And Rix selected Imperial China and pre-revolutionary Siamese Thailand as examples. So examples of this society that Rix gives us is Imperial China and pre-revolutionary Thailand. So I hope fused society is clear to you. I hope this model of fused society is clear. So moving on with our diffracted model now. So diffracted model is one where every function has a corresponding structure that specializes in its performance. Such a structure is functionally specific. Fused society में हमने देखा था मल्टी फंक्शनल स्ट्रक्चर होता है, एक ही स्ट्रक्चर होगा जो सारे फंक्शन करेगा. In fused society there was a multi-functional structure, and in diffracted society there are different structures for every function. Every function, as you can see, every function has a corresponding structure. It is a functionally specific structure. Functionally specific और functionally narrowed structure हम बोल सकते हैं इसको. So it is a functionally specific structure. हर function के लिए एक अलग structure बनाया होता है. This is why it is called diffracted society. The diffracted model is like a white light refracted into all the separate colors of the rainbow. तो हर कलर में सेपरेट हो गई ऐसी लाइट है. That is nothing but diffracted society. Examples are the highly developed and modern industrial societies of Western Europe and the US. Its features are the diffracted society is highly differentiated and integrated. So in fused society we saw that it was structurally undifferentiated. Undifferentiated था वो structure, एक ही structure था fused society में. यहाँ पे structure जो है वो highly differentiated है. We saw this in a previous point, right? Every function has a corresponding structure. So it is highly differentiated and also integrated at the same time. क्योंकि coordination तो होना जरूरी है, right? बहुत सारे structure बन गए हैं, हर function के लिए एक अलग structure बना दिया है, तो उन structures के बीच में जो coordination होगा उसको हम बोलते हैं integration. तो diffraction भी है और इंटीग्रेशन भी है. डू नॉट कंफ्यूज इंटीग्रेशन विद फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटीज. सो दिस सोसाइटी इज हाईली डिफरेंशिएटेड एंड इंटीग्रेटेड. अ यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक पैटर्न ऑफ नॉर्म्स एंड अचीवमेंट ओरिएंटेशन एग्जिस्ट इन द सोसाइटी. व्हाट डू मीन बाय यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक? सबके लिए लागू होगा, एक जैसा सबके लिए रूल लगेंगे, किसी के लिए स्पेशल प्रोविजन नहीं होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी इफ यू आर अ रिलेटिव ऑफ किंग यू विल नॉट फेस द सेम पनिशमेंट फॉर द सेम क्राइम, राइट? इफ यू आर अ रिलेटिव ऑफ द किंग. बट इन अ डिफ्रैक्टेड मॉडल इट इज अ यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक पैटर्न, सबके लिए सेम चीज लागू होगी. यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक पैटर्न ऑफ नॉर्म्स, जो नॉर्म्स हैं वो यूनिवर्सली सबके लिए इक्वली अप्लाई होंगे. सो आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू यू. ऑल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स इन दी सोसाइटी आर क्रिएटेड एंड बेस्ड ऑन साइंटिफिक रैशनल्स. तो साइंटिफिक रैशनल के ऊपर स्ट्रक्चर बनाए जाते हैं, नॉट ऑन एज ओल्ड बिलीव्स एंड नॉट ऑन ओल्ड ट्रेडिशंस एंड ओल्ड फेथ, नॉट ऑन ऑल दोज थिंग्स बट ऑन साइंटिफिक रैशनल्स. इनके ऊपर स्ट्रक्चर बनाए जाते हैं. कम्युनिकेशंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी आर हाईली डेवलप्ड. तो कम्युनिकेशन में डेवलप्ड होते हैं. इन अ फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी इफ यू रिमेंबर कम्युनिकेशंस वर वीक. कॉर्डियल पब्लिक रिलेशंस एग्जिस्ट बिटवीन गवर्नमेंट एंड पीपल ओबे लॉज ऑफ देयर ओन फ्री विल. तो गवर्नमेंट और पीपल के बीच में कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं होता कि पब्लिक को माननी ही पड़ेगी बात. पीपल ओबे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ देयर ओन फ्री विल एंड कॉर्डियल पब्लिक रिलेशंस एग्जिस्ट. जो पब्लिक रिलेशन है वो अच्छे होते हैं गवर्नमेंट और पब्लिक के बीच में. गवर्नमेंट्स वुड बी रिस्पॉन्सिव टू द नीड्स ऑफ द पीपल एंड प्रोटेक्टेड ह्यूमन राइट्स. सो गवर्नमेंट्स वुड बी रिस्पॉन्सिव एंड दे वुड ऑल्सो प्रोटेक्ट ह्यूमन राइट. गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स हैव नो coercive and absolute powers as opposed to our fused society. Government over here does not have any coercive and absolute powers. It is a marketized society. In a fused society it was a barter system. If you remember, the economic system was a barter system. Over here we call it as a marketized society. The economic system is based on market mechanism. Prices are predominantly determined by market factors, that is nothing but supply and demand, and free access of all persons to the buying and selling of all goods. तो हर आदमी को goods and services खरीदने का free access होगा. There will not be any privilege to any particular person कि आप ये नहीं खरीद सकते, आप ये नहीं खरीद सकते. There will be free access to all the people to buy all the goods and services, and the prices will be determined by the supply and demand factors and not by barter system but by supply and demand factors. So this is a marketized society. This is the economic scene in a diffracted model. The administrative subsystem of a diffracted society is called office. Now remember, this is again important. For fused society the administrative subsystem was called chamber, and for diffracted society the administrative subsystem is called office. So remember this term, this is important, this is a keyword. If you are writing answer about diffracted model, do mention these keywords. So administrative subsystem is called office. The bureaucracies of a diffracted society have become much more functionally specific as the chief, though by no means the only agents for performing administrative task. तो functionally specific हो गए हैं. We saw in our fused society that bureaucrats and kings performed all the functions. There is only one structure performing all the functions. But in diffracted society the bureaucracies are functionally specific. Their main task is performing administrative task. They are functionally specific. उनका सिर्फ एक ही फंक्शन है bureaucracies का, administrative task perform करना. Political और economic task perform करना उनका काम नहीं है. We saw this in fused society. The bureaucracies performed political as well as economic task. But in diffracted society they perform only administrative task. As you can see, as the chief, though by no means the only agents for performing administrative task. तो chief task उनका होता है administrative task perform करना. If not the only task, it is the chief task of performing the administrative administrative tasks. So it is a functionally specific bureaucracy, and this bureaucracy is called office in a diffracted model. So remember this. Rick strongly suggests that such a functionally narrowed bureaucracy, effectively controlled by other political institutions, may well be one of the requisite institutional means for achieving integration in a differentiated society. So what this point says here is, if you have to achieve integration in a differentiated society, जो diffracted society है, आपको उसमें अगर integration achieve करना है तो उसके लिए functionally narrowed bureaucracy होना जरूरी है. You need to have a functionally narrowed bureaucracy if you have to achieve integration in a differentiated society. So as you can see, what Fred W. Rick says here is functionally narrowed bureaucracy, that is nothing but functionally specific bureaucracy. हर function के लिए एक अलग structure है. Such functionally specific bureaucracy or functionally narrowed bureaucracy effectively controlled by other political institutions. Why it is effectively controlled by other political institutions? Because politicians are elected by people, they are the representatives of people. So obviously bureaucracy will have a lower status with respect to politicians, because politicians are the true representatives of people. So this is why functionally narrowed bureaucracy effectively controlled by other political institutions is one of the main requisite institutional means for achieving integration. तो आपको अगर integration achieve करना है, you need to have a functionally narrowed bureaucracy. This is what Fred W. Rick says. I hope this point is clear. Both the fused and diffracted models are the ideal ones with little basis in reality. तो ये दोनों मॉडल्स हैं, फ्यूज्ड और डिफ्रैक्टेड, दोनों मॉडल्स आइडियल मॉडल्स हैं. जस्ट लाइक एग्रेरिया, ट्रांजिशिया, इंडस्ट्रिया, फ्यूज्ड एंड डिफ्रैक्टेड मॉडल्स आर आल्सो आइडियल मॉडल, एंड प्रिज्मेटिक मॉडल इज आल्सो to some extent an ideal model. We'll study this in our feature slides. So fused and diffracted are definitely ideal models. For Ricks, these pure models are relevant only as tools to be used in explaining the prismatic phenomenon. तो इनको Ricks ने सिर्फ इसलिए यूज़ किया है, fused and diffracted models को सिर्फ इसीलिए यूज़ किया है ताकि वो prismatic society को explain कर सकें. So these pure models are only relevant as tools used in explaining the prismatic phenomenon of developing or transitional societies. तो जो transitional societies होती हैं उनका जो prismatic nature है उसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए फ्रेड डब्ल्यू रिक्स ने फ्यूज्ड मॉडल और डिफ्रैक्टेड मॉडल बनाए. ये आइडियल मॉडल्स हैं एंड दीज डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट इन रियलिटी. रिक्स प्राइमरी इंटरेस्ट हैज बीन टू हाईलाइट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ ट्रांजिशनल सोसाइटीज. तो ये जो ट्रांजिशनल सोसाइटीज हैं, जो बीच की सोसाइटीज हैं, दिस वाज हिज मेन प्राइमरी इंटरेस्ट एंड दैट इज व्हाई ही डेवलप्ड दीज आइडियल टाइप्स ऑफ फ्यूज्ड एंड डिफ्रैक्टेड मॉडल्स. देयरफॉर हिज मेजर फोकस ऑफ स्टडी हैज बीन ऑन प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. सो आई होप दिस is clear to you what is fused, what is diffracted. Now we will study in detail about prismatic society, which is the main focus of Fred W. Ricks. A society or social system that stands midway between the fused and diffracted models is known as prismatic society. So it stands midway, बीच में है, fused और diffracted model के बीच में है. No society can be exclusively called either fused or diffracted. All societies are generally prismatic in nature. So if you remember, Fred W. Ricks has given the example of fused model, Imperial China, और diffracted model के लिए भी Western European nations and USA बोला था. So Fred W. Ricks has given example, but in reality he admits that in reality none of the societies are either fused or diffracted. These are ideal models, these are pure models, and these do not exist in reality. So none of the societies are exclusively either fused or diffracted. All societies are generally prismatic. The character of every society and the relativity either to fused or to diffracted society depends on the nature of its various structures and the functions carried out by them. तो किसके ज़्यादा पास हैं, fused के ज़्यादा पास हैं या diffracted के ज़्यादा पास हैं, ये कैसे डिसाइड होगा? उनके स्ट्रक्चर और उनके फंक्शन से. As you remember, fused, prismatic, diffracted model is a structural functional approach, right? So how will you decide whether your society is close to fused or close to diffracted? You will decide by studying the various structures and the functions inside them. It is so called because it is similar to the prism through which fused light passes to become refracted into a multicolored rainbow. So we have seen this analogy. It stands for the ideal type of a third world. So it is still an ideal type, and it is an ideal type for a third world country developing from traditionality to modernity. तो जो third world countries होती हैं, जो developing countries होती हैं, which are developing from traditionality to modernity, उनके लिए ये ideal type है prismatic model. Prismatic model is still an ideal type model. Agraria, Industria and Transitia were also ideal type models, and fused, prismatic and diffracted are also ideal type model. Prismatic is an ideal type model for a third world country. I hope this is clear. Prismatic societies have neither the undifferentiated institutions of traditional societies nor the fully differentiated institutions of modern society. तो जो diffracted societies होती हैं, modern societies होती हैं, उसमें सारा सब कुछ diffracted होता है. And in fused society everything is fused. ठीक है, तो prismatic societies जो हैं, they are neither of them. They are neither the undifferentiated of fused society or the fully differentiated of the diffracted society. दोनों में से कुछ भी नहीं होता. They are midway. In other words, it combines relatively fused traits with relatively रिलेटिवली डिफ्रैक्टेड वंस। तो जो फ्यूज्ड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होती हैं, फ्यूज्ड फीचर्स होते हैं, उसको कंबाइन किया जाता है डिफ्रैक्टेड फीचर्स के साथ, एंड दैट इज हाउ यू गेट अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. The institutions in prismatic societies are legal, rational in form, in manifest function, but traditional in fact, in latent function. Modernity and tradition coexist in uneasy companionship. तो जो modernity है और जो traditionality है वो दोनों एक साथ exist करती हैं. आप नया भी सोचते हो, आप progressive भी सोचते हो, but आप अपने age old customs को भी ध्यान में रखते हो. This is a prismatic society, and as you can see, the institutions that are there inside such societies are legal, rational in form, but traditional in fact. तो दिखने में वो legal, rational type होंगे. स्ट्रक्चर जो होगा वो मैक्स वेबर का आइडियल टाइप ब्यूरोक्रेसी वाला स्ट्रक्चर होगा. यू विल हैव अ यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड, यू विल हैव अ हायरार्की, यू विल हैव अ स्केलर चेन. तो स्ट्रक्चर जो होगा दिखने में जो दिखता है, इट विल बी लीगल रैशनल इन फॉर्म, इट विल लुक लाइक अ लीगल रैशनल, इट विल लुक लाइक अ मॉडर्न स्ट्रक्चर, बट इट विल बी ट्रेडिशनल इन फैक्ट, इन लेटेंट फंक्शन. ठीक है, जो फंक्शन वो करेगा इट विल बी अ ट्रेडिशनल फंक्शन. दिस इज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन विद इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. In a prismatic society, differentiation of new structures occurs faster than the society can integrate them. So remember this, I is less than D, integration is less than differentiation. So in a prismatic society, differentiation has just started to happen, and it will happen at a faster rate than it can integrate. क्योंकि differentiation बस start हुआ है होना, तो integration का तो सवाल ही नहीं उठता ना. अभी तो differentiate बस start हुआ है होना, right? तो integrate तो बाद में होगा जब पूरी तरह से differentiate हो जाएगा. So the rate of integration is less than the rate of differentiation. So remember this, this will help you in remembering and writing your answers in exam. So I is less than D, integration is less than differentiation, rate of differentiation is more than the rate of integration in such societies. There is a lack of coordination among prismatic social structure. तो जो coordination होता है वो भी कम होगा. As we have seen, integration is less, right? So जो coordination होता है वो भी कम होगा क्योंकि it has started differentiating. The society has just started differentiating. It will happen with time. ठीक है, वो time के साथ, समय के साथ आगे जाके coordination बढ़ेगा, integration बढ़ेगा. But in a prismatic society, the coordination is less, integration is less. In the transitional prismatic societies, the bureaucracies are neither diffused nor narrowly specific. तो diffused भी नहीं होते और narrowly specific भी नहीं होते, दोनों बीच के होते हैं. ठीक है, fused और diffracted दोनों societies के बीच के होते हैं bureaucracies in prismatic societies. They are mainly intermediate as to the degree of functional specialization. तो पूरी तरह से functionally specialized भी नहीं होते. They also contribute to the malintegration. क्योंकि integration कम हो रहा है, differentiation ज़्यादा हो रहा है ना, तो इसके लिए हम बोलते हैं कि prismatic societies में malintegration है. Diffracted societies में integration होता है. Fused society में इंटीग्रेशन का तो सवाल ही नहीं उठता, और प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटीज में मैल इंटीग्रेशन होता है बिकॉज इंटीग्रेशन इज लेस देन डिफरेंशिएशन. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज गेटिंग क्लियर टू यू. दे ऑल्सो कंट्रीब्यूट टू द मैल इंटीग्रेशन बाय नॉट मैशिंग वेल विद द अदर इंस्टीट्यूशंस विद इन द पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम. इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक ट्रांजिशनल सोसाइटी, सोशल चेंज इज इनकम्प्लीट बिकॉज इन सच अ सोसाइटी न्यू ग्रुप्स आर मोबिलाइज्ड फास्टर देन द सोसाइटी कैन एसिमुलेट देम. तो जो नए ग्रुप्स हैं, एज वी हैव स्टडीड इन आवर प्रीवियस पॉइंट्स आल्सो, इट इज द सेम थिंग दैट जो नए ग्रुप्स हैं दे आर मेड मोर फास्टर देन द सोसाइटी कैन एसिमुलेट देम. उनके बीच में कोऑर्डिनेशन या इंटीग्रेशन उतना नहीं हो पाता. सो सोसाइटी कैन नॉट एसिमुलेट देम एज फास्ट एज दे आर फॉर्म्ड. सो न्यू ग्रुप्स आर फॉर्म्ड और मोबिलाइज्ड फास्टर देन द सोसाइटी कैन एसिमुलेट देम, एंड हेंस सोशल चेंज इज इनकम्प्लीट इन सच अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू. Moving on with the prismatic Sala model. Now what do you mean by Sala? Sala is nothing but the name given to administrative subsystem of prismatic society. If you remember, chamber was the name of the administrative subsystem of fused society, and office was the name of administrative subsystem of diffracted society. In a similar way, Sala is the name of administrative subsystem of prismatic society, and that is why we also called prismatic model as prismatic Sala model. And this is the big difference from agraria industria model, if you remember, because agraria industria model में administrative subsystems की बात नहीं की थी, but हम यहाँ पे administrative subsystems की बात करते हैं, and that is why this is different from agraria industria model. We have an administrative subsystem, and this is called prismatic Sala model. So prismatic society has its appropriate administrative system. Riggs has formulated the most elaborate prismatic Sala model for studying the administrative subsystem of the prismatic transitional society. तो जो administrative subsystem होता है prismatic society का, उसको study करने के लिए फ्रेड डब्ल्यू रिग्स ने हमको ये prismatic Sala model दिया है. This model is designed to analyze the behavior of prismatic bureaucracy in the context of its ecology. तो जो prismatic bureaucracy है, prismatic society का bureaucracy जो होता है, उसको analyze करने के लिए, उसके behavior को analyze करने के लिए ये model बनाया गया है in the context of its ecology. रिक्स हैज़ बोरोड द स्पेनिश वर्ड साला. साला जो है ये स्पेनिश वर्ड है, स्पेनिश वर्ड साला फॉर द प्रिज्मेटिक ब्यूरो. तो जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी होती है प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी को, उसको बोला जाता है साला. आई होप यू रिमेंबर दिस टर्म्स. दीज आर की वर्ड्स. द चेंबर, द ऑफिस, द साला, these are the keywords. So remember these keywords, okay? So sala is a Spanish word which is nothing but our prismatic bureau. Sala means a government office where administrative business is transacted, and a personal room in a home where traditional family functions are performed, or church or public hall. So this is in Spanish. The word sala, this is what it means in Spanish. The prismatic sala, the sala of our society, the bureaucracy of our society, the prismatic sala combines the trait of both fused chamber and the diffracted office. तो फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी का जो चेंबर होता है एंड डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी का जो ऑफिस होता है, दोनों के फीचर्स को मिलाते हैं हम प्रिज्मेटिक साला में. इट मर्जेस द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टास्क विद ट्रेडिशनल फंक्शंस. द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स इन द प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी आर कॉल्ड साला मैन. यू कैन कॉल देम वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट, बट रिक्स हैज कॉल्ड देम साला मैन. यू कैन इवन कॉल देम साला ब्यूरोक्रेट्स और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स वेरी सिंपली. बट रिक्स की अगर आप बुक पढ़ोगे, सो इन हिज टेक्स्ट रिक्स हैज कॉल्ड देम एज साला मैन. ही कॉल्स ब्यूरो एज साला एंड ही कॉल्स ब्यूरोक्रेट्स एज साला मैन. सो आई होप this prismatic sala model is getting clear to you now. Both the prismatic society and its administrative subsystem, that is nothing but the sala, are characterized by three basic features: heterogeneity, formalism and overlapping. And in our future slides we'll study these three basic features. So for now understand that both the prismatic society and the sala, ठीक है, जो society है और जो bureaucracy है, both the prismatic society and the sala are characterized by three basic features: heterogeneity, formalism and overlapping. So moving on with our heterogeneity, which is the first feature of prismatic sala model. Heterogeneity refers to the simultaneous presence side by side of quite different kinds of systems, practices and viewpoints. तो जो differences होती हैं society में, that is nothing but heterogeneity. So very simple, right? It is a simultaneous presence side by side of quite different kinds of systems, practices and viewpoints. A prismatic society is characterized by high degree of heterogeneity. We'll see how heterogeneity exists within a prismatic society. Remember, we are talking about prismatic society, not the sala, okay? So prismatic society में इस तरह की heterogeneity होती है. Modern structures and practices coexist alongside traditional ones in an uneasy companionship. We have seen this in a previous slide also, that modernity and traditionality exist in an uneasy companionship. तो दोनों practices जो हैं, modern practices and traditional practices exist side by side alongside each other. There are urban areas with a high degree of structural differentiation and a sophisticated intellectual class who have a western rationalistic outlook. On the contrary, in the rural areas traditional values and outlook prevail. तो prismatic societies में जो urban areas होंगे वो डेवलप्ड टाइप के होंगे. दे विल हैव अ वेस्टर्न आउटलुक, दे विल हैव अ रैशनल आउटलुक, ठीक है. तो जो अर्बन एरियाज हैं, जो शहर हैं, दे विल हैव अ वेस्टर्न आउटलुक, रैशनल आउटलुक एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स भी थोड़े बहुत डिफरेंशिएटेड होंगे. लेकिन जो रूरल एरियाज हैं प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी में, जो रूरल एरियाज होते हैं, दोज आर ट्रेडिशनल आउटलुक सोसाइटीज. सो आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर. बुलक कार्ट्स कोएग्जिस्ट विद ऑटोमोबाइल्स, तो बुलक कार्ट्स भी होंगे और कार और बस भी होंगी. इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन, वेस्टर्न टाइप ऑफ एजुकेशन कोएग्जिस्ट विद ट्रेडिशनल गुरुकुल्स. दिस इज नथिंग बट heterogeneity. I hope you are understanding now what is heterogeneity. Different types of systems and viewpoints are coexisting with each other. Hospitals with all modern facilities given allopathic treatment coexist with Ayush centers. So these are nothing but the examples of heterogeneity in a prismatic society. Now we'll see in the prismatic society the administrative structures also are characterized by heterogeneity. So in the previous point we saw the society, how heterogeneity exists in society. Now we'll see how heterogeneity exists in the sala, the administrative structure, the sala. The sala exists along with modern bureau and the traditional courts. So sala exists along with both the modern bureau भी होगा और traditional courts भी होंगे. खाप पंचायत भी होगा, पंचायत भी होगा और modern bureaucracy भी होंगी, आपके IAS officer भी होंगे, सब होंगे. So sala exists along with modern bureau and traditional courts. In the cities, officers use computers, fax and other traditional means of communication. On the other hand, in rural areas, the village head plays all the roles: political, administrative, religious and social himself. तो जो bureaucrats होते हैं cities में, शहरों में जो bureaucrats होते हैं, in the cities bureaucrats use computers, fax and other things, and in the rural areas the village head plays all the roles. So modernity and traditionality are existing side by side in the sala also, in the administrative structure also. Chaprasis coexist with telephones as aids to administration. So chaprasis will coexist with telephones. One can find western style administrative institutions, but the administrative behavior is guided by ascriptive motivations of a traditional society. We saw this in our previous slide also, if you remember, that the स्ट्रक्चर्स विल बी लीगल रैशनल इन आउटलुक बट दे विल बी ट्रेडिशनल इन फैक्ट, ठीक है। तो जो फंक्शन होगा वो ट्रेडिशनल फंक्शन करेंगे लेकिन दिखने में वो वेस्टर्न आउटलुक होगा, दे विल लुक लाइक अ लीगल रैशनल स्ट्रक्चर। सो आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू यू हाउ heterogeneity exists within the society and within the Sala both. So heterogeneity is a feature of the prismatic Sala model. We'll continue with our heterogeneity point only. Malintegration, tensions and instability in a heterogeneous society. तो ये जो heterogeneous society है, इस society के अंदर mal integration होगा, tension होगा, instability होगा. We'll see how. Although equal opportunities exist for all, only some people are privileged enough and hope to get the jobs in higher echelons. तो equal opportunities पेपर पे थियरी में तो equal opportunities सबके लिए हैं. On theory it is equal for everyone, but in reality because of this heterogeneity only some people are privileged enough and they hope to get the jobs in higher echelons and other people are not privileged enough to get such jobs. Those who fail to get jobs would waste no time in forming pressure group. तो जिनको जॉब नहीं मिलता, जिनको प्रॉपर अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिलते, फिर वो प्रेशर ग्रुप बनाते हैं अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट एंड स्टार्ट एजिटेशंस ऑन सम प्रिटेक्स्ट और द अदर. फिर वो एजिटेट करना शुरू कर देते हैं बिकॉज दे आर नॉट गेटिंग प्रॉपर अपॉर्चुनिटीज. सो दीज पीपल हु डू नॉट गेट प्रॉपर अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर्म pressure groups against the government and they start agitations. So this is how tensions are arising in society because of heterogeneity. I hope you are understanding this. Despite the existence of a government duly elected through democratic process, it would not be in a position to control the people. तो democracy exist करती है, government भी election से ही आएगी, but still जब agitation शुरू होंगी तो government फिर control नहीं कर पाएगी. This is how tensions and instability is arising now. This is now the example of instability. The people in power would make all efforts to protect their interests and stick to power. तो जो पावर में होते हैं, जो लोग जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स हैं, ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं, जो पावर में हैं, such people in power will make all efforts to preserve their position of power. Thus there is always a misunderstanding and misrepresentation of facts giving rise to tensions and instability in the society. तो इस misunderstanding और misrepresentation की वजह से tension और instability आती है society के अंदर. The problem becomes much complicated in a polycommunal society where different communities try to pull the society in different directions in furtherance of their own sectional interest. So what this point says here is, I'll give you a very easy example of India. India is an example of polycommunal society, right? So many communities, many religious faiths exist in India, so it is an example of polycommunal society, and such polycommunal society will see more side effects of this heterogeneity. Heterogeneity is nothing but traditionality and modernity existing side by side, और फिर उसके ऊपर आप polycommunalism भी डाल दो. So I hope this point is clear to you. Lack of integration thus forms the basic feature of prismatic society. So there is lack of integration. Remember, I is less than D, diffraction ज़्यादा होता है, इंटीग्रेशन कम होता है. सो लैक ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन दस फॉर्म्स बेसिक फीचर एंड दिस इज नथिंग बट माल इंटीग्रेशन. सो माल इंटीग्रेशन होगा, टेंशन होगा और इंस्टेबिलिटी होगी हेट्रोजेनस सोसाइटी में. दिस इज द साइड इफेक्ट्स ऑफ हेट्रोजेनिटी. The existence of heterogeneous structures, practices, outlooks and traits create complex behavior patterns in prismatic society. These elements also introduce numerous complexities and difficulties in formulating and implementing policies. तो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है, ये हेट्रोजेनिटी की वजह से सब कुछ बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है और इसीलिए formulating policies and implementing policies also becomes difficult because of this heterogeneity. Therefore heterogeneity contributes to both formalism and overlapping. We'll study what formalism and overlapping are in our very next slide only. So after you have known what formalism and overlapping are, you will understand that heterogeneity actually contributes to that. It does not give rise to that, but it contributes to that. So remember this. So formalism, we'll study the second feature of prismatic Sala model, formalism now. According to Fred W. Riggs, formalism is the extent of discrepancy or incongruence existing between what is formally prescribed and what is actually prescribed. तो कुछ तो एक discrepancy है, कुछ तो एक incongruence है, एक gap exist करता है, ठीक है. वो जो gap है उसको हम बोलते हैं formalism. The difference between the two things, the discrepancy or the incongruence between the two things. So what are these two things? What is formally prescribed and what is actually practiced. तो प्रिस्क्राइब कुछ करते हैं और प्रैक्टिस कुछ करते हैं, इसके बीच में जो डिफरेंस है उसको हम बोलते हैं फॉर्मलिज्म. बिटवीन नॉर्म्स एंड देयर प्रैक्टिसेस, जो नॉर्म्स कुछ हैं और प्रैक्टिस कुछ और हैं, तो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस टू इज नथिंग बट फॉर्मलिज्म. बिटवीन फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एक्चुअल मॉडलिटीज, बिटवीन द इंप्रेशंस गिवन बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स, लॉज एंड रेगुलेशंस एंड देयर एक्चुअल ऑब्जर्वेंस इन प्रैक्टिस. तो ये सब जो फॉर्मली प्रिस्क्राइब किए हुए हैं और जो नॉर्म्स हैं, जो फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं और जो एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिस हो रहे हैं, तो इनके बीच में जो डिफरेंस है उसको हम बोलते हैं फॉर्मलिज्म. रिमेंबर, फॉर्मलिज्म इज नथिंग बट द डिफरेंस बिटवीन टू थिंग्स, व्हाट इज फॉर्मली प्रिस्क्राइब्ड एंड व्हाट इज एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिस्ड. सो डिस्क्रिपेंसी और इनकॉन्ग्रुएंस और डिफरेंस बिटवीन these two things. In contrast to formalism in a prismatic society, there is high degree of realism in the fused and diffracted societies. तो prismatic societies में formalism होता है, लेकिन fused society में और diffracted society में realism होता है. Because over there you do not have this difference between prescription and activity, right? वहाँ पे जो prescribe करते हैं fused society में और diffracted societies में जो prescribe करते हैं वही हम practice भी करते हैं. So there is a high degree of realism in these two societies, but in prismatic society there is a formalism. So remember these keywords: realism, formalism, these are all keywords. So if you are writing your answer and if you write this point, it will make your answer really very beautiful. Formalism may significantly affect the quality of administrative action and behavior. तो ये जो difference है prescription में और activity में, ये difference affect करता है आपकी quality को. It affects the quality of administrative action. In a prismatic society, usually behavior does not correspond to declared intentions of laws, rules and regulation. तो जो intention होता है उससे equate नहीं कर पाता. आपका जो behavior है, जो activity आप करते हो, that does not equate to the intentions what are actually intended in the laws and the constitution. Norms and values seem to enjoy mostly theoretical respect. तो खाली पेपर पे उनको respect मिलता है. Mostly they enjoy only theoretical respect. जो भी law and order, norms and values बनाए गए हैं वो उनको खाली theoretical respect दिया जाता है. They exist only in the record rooms of the government. खाली पेपर पे वो laws होंगे. They are not respected in practice. In India, untouchability is abolished in principle, but one can come across it here and there. So this is an example that we can say that untouchability is actually by law abolished in India, but still we find that in many remote villages. Last year in Indian Express also, Indian Express started a series of articles where they uncovered untouchability in various remote villages. So even today you can find untouchability in various remote villages of India, but by law on paper it is abolished. So this is the example of formalism in India. So I hope this is getting clear to you now. Merit system may be the legal method for recruiting bureaucrats, but actual appointments may be made on the basis of non-merit considerations such as caste, obligations to family and friends, etc. So nepotism comes into play, favoritism comes into play, obligations to family and friend, अपने रिश्तेदार को जॉब दे दो by discarding the merit system. So this is another example of formalism. Thus administrators in prismatic society allow non-administrative criteria, for example social and economic, to influence their administrative actions. तो अपने administrative actions को वो influence कर देते हैं by social and economic factors, by non-administrative factors. This is the example of formalism or one of the features of formalism. The behavior of bureaucrats would be highly unpredictable, inconsistent and depends on the situational variables. तो सब कुछ situation पे depend करता है because your decisions are being influenced by situations, right? So सब कुछ situation पे depend करता है and that is why bureaucrats जो decisions लेते हैं those are highly unpredictable in a prismatic society. This is the feature of being formalism. ठीक है, formalism जो होता है उसका ये feature है that bureaucrats become unpredictable and inconsistent in their activities. Thus formalism reflects an urge to make things seem more as they presumably ought to be rather than what they actually are. So inside prismatic society where you have formalism, there is an urge, एक urge होती है to make things seem more as they presumably ought to be. जैसा आपको चाहिए वैसा आप करने की कोशिश करते हो. There is an urge inside you to make things presumably what they ought to be rather than what they actually are. चीज़ें जैसी हैं वैसा आप उनको accept नहीं करते. You do not take things at their face value. There is an urge inside you to make things presumably what they ought to be according to you. So this is nothing but formalism. We'll continue with formalism in our next slide also. Formalism is the essence of the theory of prismatic society of Riggs. तो जो prismatic society का जो पूरा मॉडल है it is based on formalism. ये पूरा एसेंस ही जो है थियरी का it is nothing but formalism. It is the basis for understanding the essentially paradoxical nature of prismatic society. तो जो paradox होता है prismatic society में modernity भी होगी, traditionality भी होगी, तो इस paradox को समझने के लिए formalism बहुत काम आता है. It accounts for the existence of wide deviations in the actual behavior of the salaman from the declared intentions of rules and regulations. तो जो bureaucrats होते हैं prismatic society में वो deviate क्यों करते हैं ये समझाने के लिए formalism काम आता है. This is why it is the essence of the theory. It accounts for that. It accounts for the existence of the difference between the activity and prescription. Formalism gives rise to administrative evils such as red tape, corruption and inefficiency, passing the buck. तो ये सब भी समझाने में help करता है. This is why formalism is the essence of the theory because it explains everything. Why we have corruption in today's times, why we have red tape in today's times, inefficiency जो है वो सब क्यों है, ये सब कुछ formalism समझाता है because there is incongruency between what is being prescribed and what is being practiced. Formalistic behavior is caused by the lack of pressure on the government towards the program objectives. तो formalism होता क्यों है? What are the reasons of formalism? So first reason is lack of pressure on the government towards the program objective. गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर प्रेशर नहीं होता अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव को अचीव करने का. दिस इज द फर्स्ट रीजन दैट फॉर्मलिस्टिक बिहेवियर इज कॉज्ड. द वीकनेस ऑफ द सोशल पावर टू इन्फ्लुएंस द ब्यूरोक्रेटिक परफॉर्मेंस. तो जो सोशल पावर होता है, आप सोशली इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हो, राइट, सोशल प्रेशर बना सकते हो, सोशल अवेयरनेस कर सकते हो, तो सोशल प्रेशर नहीं होता. तो वीकनेस ऑफ सोशल पावर, पहला तो है प्रेशर नहीं होता गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर परफॉर्म करने का. दूसरा है कि आप खुद सोशल प्रेशर नहीं बनाते, देयर इज वीकनेस ऑफ सोशल पावर. थर्ड रीजन वाई देयर इज फॉर्मलिज्म इज अ ग्रेट परमिसिवनेस फॉर आर्बिट्री एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो आर्बिट्री एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो होती है उसको हम परमिट करते हैं, वी आवरसेल्व्स परमिट द आर्बिट्री एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. सो देयर इज अ ग्रेट परमिसिवनेस फॉर आर्बिट्री एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, नेचुरल इंक्लिनेशन ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयज टुवर्ड्स कलेक्टिंग इजी मनी और द एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ चांसेस ऑफ मैल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो आपके आते हैं वो आप ग्रैब करने का ट्राई करते हो, रिश्वत मिल रही है आप रिश्वत ले लोगे. सो ऑल सच अपॉर्चुनिटीज यू ट्राई टू ग्रैब. सो देयर इज अ ग्रेट परमिसिवनेस फॉर आर्बिट्री एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. These are the three reasons why formalism exists in today's world. Why there is formalism? These are the three basic reasons. I hope this is clear to you. Examples of formalism in India: prohibition laws are respected more in violation than in observance. तो जो भी prohibition laws हैं वो खुलेआम violate होते हैं, so they are respected more in violation than in observance. The town planning regulations are more violated than observed. तो सारे builders और developers जो town planning करते हैं वो भी सारे rules regulations flaunt करते हैं. So these are the examples of formalism that we find in India. So moving on, there is a term which is nothing but constitutional formalism. If you remember, in the definition of formalism we have seen the fourth point. It was the difference between what is being laid in the constitution and what is being actually practiced. So there is a term of constitutional formalism. We will study that now. The gap between the constitutional principles and their actual implementation. तो आपका constitution जो principles दे रहा है क्या वो implement हो पा रहे हैं? For example, untouchability is abolished in the constitution itself, article 17 if you remember, but is it being implemented actually? No. So this is nothing but constitutional formalism. For example, in India, the constitution legally vests the governance in the hands of elected representatives of the people, but in practice, the real government power and influence are wielded by some individuals or groups of people outside the parliament. तो हम बोलते हैं कि हम डेमोक्रेसी में हैं. We say that we live in a democracy and we elect our own representatives by election and whatnot. But actually, what happens is, even after electing your own representatives, the actual power lies in the hands of few people which are outside the parliament, which are not elected. फिर वो strings pull करना शुरू कर देते हैं. So this is the example of constitutional formalism in India. कि constitutionally तो हम डेमोक्रेसी में हैं, हम खुद अपने representatives choose करते हैं, but actually it is not so. The constitution entrusts law making responsibility to legislators, but in reality they spend only a little time in law making and concentrate more in power politics, ignoring their legislative responsibility. So why do we elect our politicians? Politicians को हम elect क्यों करते हैं? MLA, members of legislative assembly, और MPs, member of parliament, we elect them as legislator. हम चाहते हैं कि वो लॉ बनाए, राइट, बट वो क्या करते हैं एक्चुअली? आर पॉलिटिशियंस आर एक्चुअली इन्वॉल्विंग मोर इन पावर पॉलिटिक्स एंड दे इग्नोर देयर लेजिस्लेटिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. दिस फैसिलिटेट्स द ब्यूरोक्रेसी इन द प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटीज टू प्ले अ मेजर रोल इन लॉ मेकिंग, एंड दिस इज वाई इन लॉ मेकिंग ब्यूरोक्रेसी प्लेज अ इंपॉर्टेंट रोल in prismatic societies because politicians or legislators ignore their legislative responsibility. I hope this point is clear. The bureaucrats even form groups or align themselves with various political leaders. फिर bureaucrats law making में घुसते हैं तो फिर वो politicians के साथ भी align होना शुरू हो जाते हैं. तो this is one of the drawbacks of formalism. I hope this is clear to you. Formalism, we are done with formalism. We are done with heterogeneity. We are done with formalism. We will now deal with third feature of prismatic scala model, that is nothing but overlapping. It refers to the extent to which formally differentiated structures of a diffracted society coexist with undifferentiated structures of a fused society. तो overlapping मतलब fused society के structures हैं वो overlap करेंगे with structures of diffracted society. As we already know, prismatic society is the midway between fused and diffracted, right? So जो structures होंगे fused society के, those will overlap with the structures of diffracted society. This is nothing but overlapping in a very simple terms. We'll understand it now. In a prismatic society, modern as well as old and traditional structures carry on functions. So both structures carry on functions, modern as well as old. But in reality, the functioning and behavior of modern structures are greatly influenced by the old and traditional structures. तो जो modern structures हैं, those will be greatly influenced by the old and traditional structures. What are the modern structures? The parliament, the government offices, the schools, the market. These are the modern structures, and they will be greatly influenced by old and traditional structures such as family, caste, religion. ये सब traditional structures हैं. So theory में, in theory we say that these both structures coexist. They both are in a companionship. But in reality, modern structures are greatly influenced by old structures. So this is how there is an overlapping. फिर वो companionship नहीं होती है, फिर वो overlapping में बदल जाती है. So this is a feature of prismatic scala model, that there is an overlapping of old structures and modern structures. There is no more companionship now. दोनों equally काम नहीं करते. Old structures will influence the modern structures. The old and traditional structures continue to dominate the various functional areas in the social system. So as you can see, domination होता है, old structures जो होते हैं वो dominate करते हैं modern structures पे. Usually only lip sympathy is paid to new norms and values, while in practice greater significance is attached to the old values and practices. तो खाली पेपर पे होता है, न्यू नॉर्म्स एंड न्यू वैल्यूज जो हैं, प्रोग्रेसिव आउटलुक जो है वो खाली पेपर पे होगा. ओनली लिप सिंपैथी विल बी पेड टू देम, एंड एक्चुअली इन प्रैक्टिस ग्रेटर सिग्निफिकेंस इट इज अटैच्ड टू द ओल्ड वैल्यूज. सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर व्हाई देयर इज ओवरलैपिंग. ओवरलैपिंग का मतलब है देयर इज नो मोर कंपेनियनशिप नाउ. द ओल्ड विल ओवरलैप विद द मॉडर्न, द ओल्ड विल इन्फ्लुएंस द मॉडर्न. आई होप ओवरलैपिंग इज गेटिंग क्लियर टू यू. ओवरलैपिंग ऑल्सो एग्जिस्ट इन द साला. ये हमने देखा सोसाइटी में, दिस वॉज द सोसाइटी. Overlapping also exists in the Sala. It refers to the extent to which what is described as administrative behavior is actually determined by non-administrative criteria. तो जो administrative behavior होता है that is determined by non-administrative criteria. This is how overlapping exists in Sala within the bureaucracy. Because of overlapping, administrative functions are performed in prismatic societies by structures specifically oriented towards these functions as well as by other structures. So as we know, in a diffracted society, what happens in a diffracted society? Bureaucracy का काम होता है administrative task करना, right? So bureaucracy has the task of performing administrative tasks. But in a prismatic society, because of overlapping, these administrative tasks are performed not only by bureaucracy but also by other structures. As you can see, the administrative functions are performed by structures specifically oriented towards these functions, that is nothing but bureaucracy, as well as by other structures. So this is how overlapping exists inside the bureaucracy of prismatic society, inside the Sala. In the prismatic societies, administrative structures interfere in the functioning of non-administrative structures, and again non-administrative structures interfere in the work of administrative structures. तो दोनों एक दूसरे के काम को इंटरफियर करते हैं. This is how overlapping is inside the Sala. Administrative structures and non-administrative structures both will interfere with each other. This is nothing but overlapping. The social role of prismatic administrator or Sala man. We know what administrator is, right? Administrator is also called as Sala man. So the social role of administrator or Sala man often overlaps with his official role. तो social role जो है वो official role के साथ overlap करता है, and this causes a lot of confusion and maladjustment. तो उसकी वजह से confusion होता है और फिर maladjustment होता है. तो this is how overlapping is within the Sala. So continuing with our overlapping slide only, in a prismatic society, overlapping has 5 different dimensions. So these 5 different dimensions of overlapping are nepotism, polycommunalism or cliques, bazaar canteen model, polynormatism and lack of consensus, and authority versus control. We'll see each of them now in detail. So nepotism, we all know what nepotism is. It is nothing but favoritism, अपने relatives को, अपने friends को preference देना over someone else. So this is nepotism. It is very simple. We'll just locate it very quickly. In a prismatic society, there is much nepotism in recruitment and personal matters. तो recruitment और personal matters दोनों में nepotism हम करते हैं. Friends और family को ज़्यादा preference देंगे. The Sala officials have social obligations to family and friends. तो social obligation होता है हर official का, हर Sala official का, हर administrator का social obligation होगा towards his family and friends who need security against unemployment. They give preference to family members, relatives and friends in making appointments to government positions. तो इसीलिए nepotism होता है क्योंकि हम friends और family को employment में ज़्यादा preference देते हैं. प्रमोशन इज ऑल्सो प्राइमरली बेस्ड ऑन लॉयल्टी टू द सुपीरियर. तो अगर आप सुपीरियर से जितना लॉयल हो आपको उतना जल्दी प्रमोशन मिलेगा. अगर आप सुपीरियर से लॉयल नहीं हो तो आपको प्रमोशन लेट मिलेगा. सो प्रमोशन इज ऑल्सो प्राइमरली बेस्ड ऑन लॉयल्टी टू सुपीरियर. सिमिलर नॉन मेरिट कंसिडरेशंस में ग्रेटली इन्फ्लुएंस असाइनमेंट्स, ट्रांसफर्स एंड अदर पर्सनल एक्शंस विद इन द सर्विस. तो असाइनमेंट ट्रांसफर जो होते हैं ये भी नेपोटिज्म पे होते हैं. अगर आपको कोई आदमी पसंद है तो आप उसको उसके होम एरिया में असाइन कर दो, उसको उसके होम एरिया में ट्रांसफर कर दो. अगर आपको कोई आदमी पसंद नहीं है तो आप उसको किसी रिमोट एरिया में ट्रांसफर कर दो. सो सच नेपोटिज्म also exist within transfer also, assignments also. So we can see how nepotism is there, right? In a prismatic society, the conduct of administrative business is based on discriminatory treatment. तो एक discriminatory treatment होता है administrative business को conduct करते वक्त. Universal norms in administrative laws are generally disregarded. We have seen this on a previous slide. Universal laws जो होते हैं वो diffracted society का feature है. Universality of norms, हर एक को equally apply होगा. कोई भी law होगा तो हर एक को equally apply होगा. But in a prismatic society, we find that because of nepotism, there is no universality of laws, there is no universality of application of these laws. So I hope this is clear to you. According to risks, in a prismatic society, one cannot separate purely legal rational administration from the social, economic and political obligations that converge upon the manager of the Sala. तो जो Sala administrators होते हैं, जो manager होते हैं Sala के, जो bureaucrats होते हैं, उनके कुछ तो social, economic and political obligations होते हैं, right? These social, economic and political obligations are hard to separate out from their legal rational administration. This is what Fred W. Rick says. This is how nepotism exists. So this was the first feature of overlapping. So I will just quickly revise what we have learned till now. We have learned that there were three ideal societies of agraria, transitia and industria. After that, in this session we are learning that there are three more new ideal models of fused, prismatic and diffracted. And inside prismatic we saw there was a prismatic Sala model. The bureaucracy is called Sala, and this prismatic Sala model has three features which are nothing but heterogeneity, overlapping and formalism. And overlapping again has 5 dimensions within it, and first dimension was nepotism. We are done with nepotism now. Moving on to our second dimension of polycommunalism or clades. Now we have dealt what polycommunal society is, right? Polycommunal society क्या होती है? जहाँ पे बहुत सारे ग्रुप्स हैं, रिलीजियस ग्रुप्स हो गए या कोई भी कास्ट ग्रुप हो गए, बहुत सारे ग्रुप्स हैं. सो दिस इज अ polycommunal society. Polycommunalism or clades, we will see this now. It refers to the existence in prismatic society of several ethnic, racial, religious and linguistic groups side by side but in a hostile interaction with each other. तो hostile interaction होता है. They are not in harmony, they are in hostile interaction. So I hope this is getting clear to you. This is a polycommunal society where various type of groups, ethnic, linguistic, religious, these type of groups are in a hostile interaction with each other. Rix calls a typically prismatic group a clade. We saw that in a fused society a group was called sect, right? हमने देखा था कि fused society में sect बोलते थे. In prismatic society हम groups को clade बोलते हैं. Clade is nothing but club of diffracted society plus sect of fused society. So sect are nothing but name of groups in fused society and club is nothing but name of group in diffracted society. तो इन दोनों words को मिला के CL of club and ECT of fused we get the word clade, which is nothing but club plus sect. So I hope this word clade is clear to you. This is the name of the group that Rix has given in a prismatic society. Use modern associational methods of organization plus retains diffuse and particularistic goals of traditional type. तो modern methods होंगे organization के. दिखने में जो ग्रुप है वो मॉडर्न ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मेथड्स फॉलो करेगा, बट इट विल आल्सो रिटेन इट्स डिफ्यूज्ड एंड पर्टिकुलरिस्टिक गोल्स ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल टाइप. तो ट्रेडिशनल टाइप के गोल्स मेंटेन करेंगे एंड दिखने में इट विल बी अ मॉडर्न टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सच इज द ग्रुप विच इज नथिंग बट clade within the prismatic society. Membership is restricted to persons who share a common traditional background and thus can trust each other. तो मेंबरशिप भी रेस्ट्रिक्टेड होती है clade में. जो कॉमन बैकग्राउंड होंगे, कॉमन रिलीजन है, कॉमन कास्ट है, कॉमन लैंग्वेज है, तो जो कॉमन बैकग्राउंड है उसी के बेसिस पे आपको मेंबरशिप मिलेगी ऐसे ग्रुप्स में. द प्रिज्मेटिक ग्रुप्स और क्लेक्ट्स डेवलप डुअल पर्पजेस. तो ये जो ग्रुप्स हैं क्लेक्ट्स हैं, इनके दो पर्पज होते हैं प्रिज्मेटिक साला मॉडल में. फर्स्ट पर्पज इज अ कम्युनल ओरिएंटेशन ड्रॉन फ्रॉम ट्रेडिशनल कस्टम्स. तो ट्रेडिशनल कस्टम से एक कम्युनल ओरिएंटेशन देने का एक पर्पज होता है सोसाइटी को, दैट हम सोसाइटी को एक ओरिएंटेशन देंगे विच विल बी कम्युनल इन नेचर. सो गिविंग अ कम्युनल ओरिएंटेशन टू सोसाइटी इज द वन पर्पज ऑफ दिस क्लेक्ट और द प्रिज्मेटिक ग्रुप. द सेकंड पर्पज इज द पर्टिकुलर एस्पिरेशंस ऑफ देयर मेंबर्स फॉर स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक प्रिविलेजेस. फिर उनको प्रिविलेजेस भी चाहिए होते हैं. बिकॉज वी बिलोंग टू दिस रिलीजन, बिकॉज वी बिलोंग टू दिस कास्ट, वी नीड सम स्पेशल प्रिविलेजेस. दिस इज द सेकंड पर्पज. दे नीड सम स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक प्रिविलेजेस एंड द फर्स्ट पर्पज इज टू गिव अ कम्युनल ओरिएंटेशन टू द सोसाइटी. So these are the two purposes of prismatic groups or clades that Fred W. Rix says. Polycommunalism in a prismatic society affects the society as well as the behavior of साला bureaucrats. तो सोसाइटी को भी अफेक्ट करता है ये जो polycommunalism है, ये सोसाइटी को भी अफेक्ट करेगा और साला bureaucrats को भी अफेक्ट करेगा, दोनों को अफेक्ट करेगा. As you can see, each community fights for various special privileges. That is nothing but housing privileges, economic benefits. तो special privileges के लिए फाइट करते हैं हर कम्युनिटी. ये जो clades होते हैं, हर कम्युनिटी स्पेशल privileges के लिए फाइट करेगा. Each community fights for various special privileges for their community. Usually the dominant community gains more privileges and benefits. तो जो dominant community होगी उसको ज़्यादा benefits मिल जाएंगे. So this is nothing but a feature of polycommunalism. This creates dissatisfaction among the large number of people who belong to other communities. तो जिनको privileges नहीं मिले, फिर वो ग्रुप जो हैं, वो collect जो हैं, उनके अंदर फिर dissatisfaction हो जाएगा कि हमको ये नहीं मिल रहा है, उनको ये मिल रहा है. In the prismatic plural society, different communities try to pull society in different directions to fulfill their own narrow communal interest. In such a situation, decision making becomes difficult. तो ये ऐसी जो plural society होती है, in which different communities are trying to pull in different directions, ऐसी जो plural society है, ऐसी plural society में decision making फिर difficult हो जाता है, क्योंकि फिर dissatisfaction होगा, फिर agitation होगा, फिर वो revolt करेंगे, agitate करेंगे, right? फिर वो decision making जो है difficult हो जाता है. So this is how polycommunalism is affecting both the society as well as the behavior of साला bureaucrats. Decision making is becoming difficult. This is how behavior of bureaucrats is getting affected. इन अ पॉलीकम्युनल सिचुएशन द साला ऑफिसर्स समटाइम्स फंक्शन लाइक क्लैक्ट्स। तो साला ऑफिसर्स भी जो हैं वो कभी कभी क्लैक्ट्स की तरह परफॉर्म करते हैं। व्हाट आर क्लैक्ट्स? क्लैक्ट्स आर नथिंग बट ग्रुप्स इन द सोसाइटी। सोसाइटी में जो ग्रुप्स होते हैं उनको क्लैक्ट्स बोलते हैं। बट इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी साला ऑफिसर्स ऑल्सो समटाइम्स फंक्शन लाइक क्लैक्ट। फिर वो खुद ब्यूरोक्रेसी के अंदर फिर वो खुद अपना क्लैक्ट लाइक फॉर्मेशन बना लेंगे। विल सी हाउ। फर्दरेंस ऑफ नेपोटिज्म इज देयर। दे शो greater loyalty to respective communities, sects, caste, tribes and religions than towards government. We saw in our first feature of overlapping, right? There are 5 dimensions of overlapping. First dimension was nepotism, and we saw this point over there that there is a nepotism within the Sala officials, that they give more preference to these people rather than giving preference towards government. This is the nepotism aspect. They discriminate between their own community and others in administering laws and applying rules and regulations. तो जब वो rules and regulation apply करते हैं, जब वो कोई policy implement करते हैं, उसमें भी फिर वो nepotism लेके आएंगे. This is how Sala officials are behaving like collects. I hope this is getting clear to you how Sala officials are behaving like collects by furthering nepotism. Nepotism is connected to polycommunalism. ठीक है, हर कुछ एक दूसरे से connected है. ठीक है, तो हर चीज आपको कहीं ना कहीं आपको मिल जाएगी. So over here you will find that nepotism is connected to polycommunalism, and because of this nepotism Sala officials are also behaving like collects within bureaucracy, which they actually should not. A policy may be applied selectively for members of their favor community. तो अगर वो कोई पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं तो उसको भी वो सिलेक्टिवली अप्लाई करेंगे टू फेवर देयर कम्युनिटी. समटाइम्स फॉर्मेशन ऑफ क्लैक्ट्स टेक प्लेस इन द साला, एंड दिस कम्स इन द वे ऑफ अचीवमेंट ऑफ यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक नॉर्म. तो ये जो यूनिवर्सलिस्टिक नॉर्म्स हैं जो सबको इक्वली अप्लाई होने चाहिए, फिर वो नहीं हो पाता. एंड दिस इज हाउ साला ऑफिशियल समटाइम्स एक्ट लाइक क्लैक्ट्स. सो आई होप दिस क्लैक्ट फीचर इज क्लियर टू यू. पॉलीकम्युनलिज्म, वेरियस ग्रुप्स आर देयर इन द सोसाइटी, एंड दिस ग्रुप्स इन द सोसाइटी आर कॉल्ड एज क्लैक्ट्स. It is nothing but club of diffracted plus sect of fused. So I hope this is clear. Moving on to our third dimension of overlapping, which is nothing but bazaar canteen model. So we will see what bazaar canteen model is. The economic scene or the economic subsystem in a prismatic society is called as bazaar canteen. The society is called prismatic society. The administrative subsystem is called sala, and the economic subsystem is called bazaar canteen model. So I hope these things are clear to you. The society as a whole is prismatic. उस society के अंदर जो administration है उसको हम बोलते हैं साला, और जो इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम है उसी सोसाइटी के अंदर उसको हम बोलते हैं बाजार कैंटीन मॉडल. सो द इकोनॉमिक सीन ऑफ अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी इज कॉल्ड एज बाजार कैंटीन. इन अ डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी प्राइसेस आर डिटरमाइंड बाय मार्केट फैक्टर्स ऑफ डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. इन अ फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी अरेना फैक्टर्स, अ लॉ ऑफ एक्सचेंज एंड बार्टर सिस्टम डिटरमाइन द इकोनॉमिक ट्रांजैक्शन एंड प्रोड्यूस अ काइंड ऑफ प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी. सो वी हैव सीन दिस इन आवर प्रीवियस स्लाइड्स दैट डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी में प्राइसेस आर डिटरमाइंड बाय मार्केट फैक्टर्स ऑफ डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, एंड इन अ फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी बार्टर सिस्टम होता है. वी हैव सीन दिस इन आवर प्रीवियस slide. In a prismatic society, both the market factors and the arena factors, ठीक है, ये जो arena factors हैं, law of exchange and barter system, और जो market factors हैं, demand and supply वाले factors, ये दोनों एक साथ एक्ट करते हैं इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. सो इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी बोथ द मार्केट फैक्टर्स एंड द अरेना फैक्टर्स इंटरेक्ट विद ईच अदर एंड प्रोड्यूस अ काइंड ऑफ प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी. तो फ्यूज्ड सोसाइटी में भी प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी होता है और प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटीज में भी प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी होता है. बोथ ऑफ द सोसाइटीज फ्यूज्ड एंड प्रिज्मेटिक हैव प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी. विच सोसाइटी डज नॉट हैव प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी इज द डिफ्रैक्टेड सोसाइटी. ठीक है, तो प्रिज्मेटिक मॉडल में भी जो इकोनॉमिक मॉडल होगा उसमें भी प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी होगा. दिस क्रिएट्स एन इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम दैट फॉर्मली रिजेंबल्स मार्केट बट एक्चुअली वर्क्स लाइक अ ट्रेडिशनल इकोनॉमी. तो दिखने में वो मार्केट जैसे दिखेगा, इट विल लुक लाइक अ मार्केट इकोनॉमी, इट विल लुक लाइक अ डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमी, बट इट विल एक्ट लाइक अ ट्रेडिशनल इकोनॉमी. द रिजल्टेंट प्राइस इंडिटर्मिनेसी प्रमोट्स अ बाजार टाइप एटमोस्फियर इन द प्रिज्मेटिक इकोनॉमिक सीन. सो बाजार इज अ इंडियन वर्ड, a Hindi word, and Fred W. Ricks adopted this Hindi word, and as you might know there are many Hindi words which have been adopted in English language, and bazaar is one of those words which have been adopted. For example, loot is an Hindi word which have been adopted into English, yoga or whatnot. So there are many words which are adopted from Hindi to English. Bazaar is one of those words which are adopted by Fred W. Ricks. It is an Indian word, it is a Hindi word adopted into English. So what this price indeterminacy does is, Fred W. Ricks says that it creates a bazaar type atmosphere, and we all know what bazaars are like in India, right? So price indeterminacy की वजह से बाजार टाइप एटमोस्फेयर बन जाता है, and that is why we call this as bazaar canteen model. In the prismatic bazaar, the prices of goods and services are not fixed and each transaction is based on bargaining bargaining. As a result, different persons are charged different prices for the same good and services. तो जो अच्छा bargain कर लेगा उसको अच्छा price मिलेगा, जो bargain नहीं कर पाता उसको लूट लिया जाएगा. Thus, persons with high social and political status can get goods and services at a cheaper rate than people from an oppressed community. तो अगर आपका political status अच्छा है, अगर आपका economic status अच्छा है, social status अच्छा है, तो आपको सस्ती चीज़ें मिलेंगी, आपको अच्छी चीज़ें मिलेंगी. और अगर आपका ये सारे स्टेटस नहीं है तो आपको वो चीज़ें महंगी मिलेंगी और ख़राब मिलेंगी. Persons with high status and influential persons have access to all sorts of privileges to which they have no legal rights. People of a favored community are given a preferential treatment. तो एक favored community को एक preferential treatment दिया जाएगा. In short, in a prismatic society, the presence of market structures such as banks, car dealers and trade commissions is only a screen for a great deal of informal bargaining over such things as interest rates, prices, salaries and values of land. तो हर चीज़ की bargaining होती है and whatever you have, the cars, the banks, the commissions और ये जो भी चीज़ें हैं ये सब एक screen है. These are only a front, ठीक है, these are only a screen or a front for informal bargaining and this is nothing but the prismatic society's bazaar canteen model. I hope bazaar canteen model is clear to you. This is the third dimension of overlapping that we are studying. The fourth dimension of overlapping now we'll study polynormatism and lack of concession. What do you mean by normativism? Normativism means there are various norms. कुछ तो norms होंगे, rules and regulations होंगे. So this is nothing but normativism. So what do you mean by polynormativism? There are many rules and many laws and many regulations. ठीक है, तो वो हो जाता है polynormativism and hence there is a lack of consensus. Very simple, right? इतने सारे rules होंगे, इतने सारे norms होंगे, तो फिर consensus भी नहीं होगा, right? So this is very simple. We'll study this now. In a prismatic society, a new set of norms coexist with the traditional ways of behavior and doing things, and people subscribe to different values and norms. So new type of laws भी होंगे, modern type of progressive outlook वाले laws भी होंगे और traditional behavior of doing things भी होगा, and that is why people describe to different values and norms, and this is nothing but polynormativism. I hope polynormativism is clear to you now. Consequently, divergences and differences appear in society. क्योंकि इतने सारे norms हैं, इतने सारे values हैं, इसके लिए society में divergence और differences आ जाते हैं. This leads to lack of consensus on issues and policies and creates difficulties in decision making. फिर वो issues और policies पे फिर वो consensus नहीं बन पाता क्योंकि हर कोई एक अलग norm follow कर रहा है, right? So फिर वो consensus नहीं बन पाएगा and this is why this creates difficulty in policy making. This is the fourth feature of our overlapping, fourth dimension of overlapping that we are studying. So we'll move on with our fifth and the last dimension of overlapping, which is nothing but authority versus control. There are two slides of this. This is a big dimension. Riggs observes that in a prismatic society, the power structure consists of a highly centralized and concentrated authority structure overlapping a control system that is highly localized and dispersed. So what Riggs says is there is a overlapping between authority and control. Authority and control are separate according to Riggs. Authority separate है, control separate है, and there exists an overlapping between them. They are separate and they are overlapping with each other. And he says that the authority structure is highly centralized and concentrated and the control system is highly localized and dispersed. तो जो authority है वो centralized है, आप जो है वो power अपने हाथ में रखोगे, लेकिन जो control system है that is highly localized and dispersed. ठीक है, तो there exists an overlapping between highly centralized authority and highly localized control system. I hope this point is clear to you. I will read it once again. The power structure consists of a highly centralized and concentrated authority structure overlapping a control system that is highly localized and dispersed. Moving on, there exists a separation of authority and control. As I said, according to Riggs, authority and control are both separate and they both overlap with each other, right? So Riggs says that authority and control are separate. Authority is nothing but officially sanctioned or legitimate power. According to Fred W. Riggs, he says that जो आपको officially power दी गई है वो आपकी authority है. And what is control? Real but unofficially permitted or illegitimate power. ठीक है, तो जो unofficially आप जो power use कर रहे हो that is nothing but the control. For example, let's say a local gangster or a local goon, ठीक है, वो कुछ control आपका society पे रखता है, right? So that is a highly localized control. That is not an official power. Officially उसको कोई power नहीं दी है control करने की. I hope this is getting clear to you. According to Riggs, authority and control are both separate and authority is highly centralized and control is highly localized. Authority is official and control is unofficial. In practice, the de jure authority succumbs to the de facto control. So de jure authority, de jure मतलब जो judicially जो officially आपको दी गई है that is the authority, it succumbs, वो victim बन जाती है जो de facto control है उसका. So this is how there is overlapping between authority and control. Both are separate and control is kind of dominating over authority. जो localized control है वो authority को succumb कर ले रहा है, ठीक है. So this is how overlapping is between authority and control. The authority of Sala overlaps with the society's control structures which are based on polycommunalism, clects and polynormativism. So as we know, authority जो है जो officially power दी जाएगी वो साला को दी जाएगी. The Sala साला मैन, द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स. सो जो ऑफिशियल पावर होगी, जो अथॉरिटी होगी, वो साला के पास होगी, एंड इट विल ओवरलैप विद सोसाइटीज कंट्रोल. ठीक है, जो लोकलाइज कंट्रोल होंगे उसके साथ फिर वो ओवरलैप करता है, विच आर बेस्ड ऑन पॉलीकम्युनलिज्म, क्लैक्ट्स एंड पॉलीनॉर्मेटिविज्म. वी हैव स्टडीड ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन आवर प्रीवियस स्लाइड्स. तो ये इस तरह से ओवरलैपिंग हो रही है अथॉरिटी और कंट्रोल की. वन कैन फाइंड अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पावर, प्रिविलेजेस, रिसोर्सेज एंड सर्विसेज. तो इस सब चीज़ का भी एक अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है. रिलक्टेंस ऑफ चेंज, विल सी व्हाट दिस इज. एज एन आउटग्रोथ ऑफ चेंज, न्यू कम्युनिटीज एंड न्यू लीडर्स एमर्ज, बट द ट्रेडिशनल एलिट्स आर रिलक्टेंट टू ग्रांट देम मच पावर. तो न्यू कम्युनिटीज कम अप, न्यू लीडर्स कम अप, बट जो ट्रेडिशनल लीडर्स होते हैं, ट्रेडिशनल एलिट्स होते हैं, फिर वो न्यू लीडर्स को पावर देना नहीं चाहते. सो दिस इज द रिलक्टेंस टू चेंज. दे डू नॉट वांट टू चेंज. ठीक है, जो ट्रेडिशनल एलिट्स हैं वो चेंज होना नहीं चाहते, तो वो न्यू कम्युनिटीज को पावर नहीं देते. एज अ सोसाइटी, यू आर अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी, यू आर अंडरगोइंग डिफरेंशिएशन. ठीक है, मॉडर्निटी आ रही है, ट्रेडिशनलिटी जा रही है, मॉडर्निटी आ रही है, और नए ग्रुप्स आ रहे हैं, सब कुछ नया नया हो रहा है. प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी है, राइट. लेकिन फिर भी जो ट्रेडिशनल एलिट्स हैं, दे आर रिलक्टेंट टू चेंज. दिस इज अ फीचर ऑफ आर ओवरलैपिंग. द ट्रेडिशनल एलिट्स, एंशियंस टू रिटेन द डोमिनेंट पोजीशन, आर यूजुअली प्री ऑक्यूपाइड विद एक्वायरिंग एंड मेंटेनिंग पावर. फिर वो पावर को एक्वायर और मेंटेन करने लगते हैं जो ट्रेडिशनल लीडर्स हैं. दे अटेम्प्ट टू ग्रैब पावर थ्रू कोवर्जन, वायलेंस, मनी एंड मसल पावर, और charismatic rule, but rarely through constitutional authority. They also tightly control the resources of the society. So this is how there is a reluctance of change. We will continue with our same topic of authority versus control. Relation with politics, we will see how it plays along with politics. Generally, a prismatic society has an unbalanced polity. Remember, this is again the keyword. I am saying this is the keyword of prismatic model, unbalanced polity. There is an unbalanced polity in a prismatic society in which the bureaucrats dominate the politico-administrative system. We have seen this in a previous slide. If you remember, bureaucrats dominate the law making power, because जिनको हमने लॉ बनाने के लिए इलेक्ट किया है वो खुद ही पावर ग्रैब करने में लग जाते हैं और लॉ मेकिंग वो लोग भूल जाते हैं. bureaucrats are now coming into play of law making. So this is how bureaucrats dominate the politico administrative system, and this is why we have an unbalanced polity. Bisala bureaucrats are power maximizers and try to exploit the ambiguity in any situation to serve their own power without reference to goals of the agency. They are motivated by self aggrandizement and self protection. फिर वो जो bureaucrats होते हैं, साला के जो administrators हैं, bureaucrats हैं, they try to be power maximizers. फिर वो अपनी power को maximize करने की कोशिश करेंगे with respect to their politicians, and they are motivated by their own self interest and their own self protection and whatnot. So this is how it plays along in Sala. Because of their unusual weight of power, the Sala official enjoy the privilege of interfering frequently in political policy making. So they interfere frequently in policy making also. We have seen this. A weak prismatic political system and leadership fail to comply the powerful bureaucracy. तो political system जो होता है, political system in a prismatic society is a weak. So such a weak political system will fail to control the powerful bureaucracy. Bureaucracy will become powerful, political system will be weak, and this weak political system will fail to control the powerful bureaucracy. As a result, the control over administration by legislators, judges, political parties, pressure groups and public opinion also become ineffective. फिर आपका खुद का opinion भी ineffective बन जाएगा. Legislators और politicians तो वैसे ही weak हैं. We have seen this, right? That weak political system. So legislators are already weak, but judges and political parties also become weak. Pressure groups also become weak because bureaucracy becomes all powerful. The concentration of power in the hands of bureaucrats may result in their unresponsiveness to the needs and wishes of the people. फिर वो ऐसे जो bureaucrats हैं, फिर वो needs के साथ unresponsive हो जाते हैं. They do not care about the needs of people. They do not care about the wishes of people. And this is how we have an unbalanced polity. The political system is weak and the bureaucracy is all powerful. This is the relation with politics of authority and control. I hope this is clear to you. There is also inefficiency because of such powerful bureaucracy. There is also inefficiency. Ricks has suggested that there is an inverse ratio between administrative output and bureaucratic power. तो आपकी जितनी पावर बड़ी होगी उतना ही आपका कम आउटपुट होगा, क्योंकि फिर आपका ध्यान पावर को मैक्सिमाइज करने में लग जाता है, राइट. तो देयर इज एन इनवर्स रेशियो बिटवीन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव आउटपुट एंड ब्यूरोक्रेटिक पावर. तो जितनी पावरफुल ब्यूरोक्रेसी बनेगी उतने ही कम आउटपुट ब्यूरोक्रेसी देगी, उतने ही कम सक्सेसफुल आउटकम्स ब्यूरोक्रेसी देगी. द मोर पावरफुल ऑफिसर्स बिकम, द लेस इफेक्टिव दे बिकम एज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर. हैवी वेट ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेटिक पावर लोअर्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी. फिर आपकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी कम हो जाती है. अकॉर्डिंग टू रिक्स, द साला एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन is basically wasteful and prodigal. This is what Fred W. Ricks says, that Sala administration is wasteful and prodigal. It is associated with institutionalized corruption, nepotism in recruitment and inefficiency in rule application. फिर आप inefficient बन जाते हो, nepotism करते हो, favoritism करते हो, corruption करते हो, and this is why Ricks says that Sala administration is wasteful and prodigal. Self-aggrandizement and self-protection rather than service to people characterizes bureaucratic operation. तो सर्विस टू पीपल आपको करनी चाहिए, लेकिन आप वो नहीं करते हो, आप अपने खुद के सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट सर्व करते हो, एंड दिस इज द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेटिक ऑपरेशन इन अ प्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी. देयर इज दस ऑलवेज अ प्रोनाउंस्ड गैप बिटवीन फॉर्मल एक्सपेक्टेशंस एंड एक्चुअल बिहेवियर. दिस इज नथिंग बट फॉर्मलिज्म. फॉर्मल एक्सपेक्टेशन और एक्चुअल बिहेवियर के बीच में जो गैप है, फिर वो आने लगता है धीरे धीरे. द टोटल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ साला एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डिफीट्स द एसेंशियल एम ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, नेमली द अचीवमेंट ऑफ डिजायर्ड सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक चेंज इन अ डेवलपिंग ट्रांजिशनल सोसाइटी. तो एम ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, आपका डेवलपमेंट का एम क्या होता है? एक किसी ट्रांजिशनल सोसाइटी में डेवलपमेंट लेके आना, मॉडर्नाइजेशन लेके आना, सोशल और इकोनॉमिक चेंज लेके आना, ये आपका एम होता है, राइट? सो दिस डिफीट्स द होल पर्पस ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट. इट डिफीट्स द एसेंशियल एम ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट बिकॉज यू आर नाउ नॉट गिविंग आउटपुट, बिकॉज देयर इज एन इनवर्स रिलेशन बिटवीन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव आउटपुट एंड ब्यूरोक्रेटिक पावर. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू हाउ inefficiency plays in prismatic societies. So we are done with the features of prismatic Sala model. I will just quickly revise what we have studied till now. There were three models of fused, prismatic and diffracted. फिर prismatic के अंदर हमने पढ़ा तीन फीचर्स थे prismatic Sala मॉडल के. वो तीन फीचर्स थे heterogeneity, formalism and overlapping. फिर overlapping के अंदर हमने पढ़ा 5 डायमेंशंस थे overlapping के: nepotism, polycommunalism, polynormativism, बाजार कैंटीन मॉडल and authority versus control. So I hope these 5 features and 3 features are clear to you. So moving on with our last slide of today, we'll study problem of change in prismatic society. The pace of development in any society depends mainly on availability of favorable conditions for change in the system. तो आपके conditions कितने favorable होंगे change के लिए, वो decide करेगा कि आपके society में कितना development हो रहा है. वेस्टर्न सोसाइटीज़ विटनेस्ड रिलेटिवली लॉन्गर टाइम स्पेंड फॉर द डेवलपमेंट. तो जो वेस्टर्न सोसाइटीज़ हैं उनको डेवलप होने के लिए बहुत टाइम मिला, और जो आज की सोसाइटीज़ हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिया, इट बिकेम इंडिपेंडेंट इन 1947, तो डेवलप होने के लिए कम टाइम है, राइट? ओनली 50 ईयर्स और 60 ईयर्स और 70 ईयर्स. दिस इज अ लेस टाइम व्हेन वी कंपेयर इट विद वेस्टर्न सोसाइटीज़ हु हैव हैड मोर टाइम टू डेवलप. इफ दे आर डेवलप टुडे, दैट इज बिकॉज दे हैव अ लॉन्ग टाइम स्पेन फॉर डेवलपमेंट एंड दे वर एबल टू एडजस्ट देयर बिहेवियर ग्रेजुअली टू डिजायर्ड पैटर्न्स. तो उनके लिए वो फेवरेबल कंडीशंस थे. एज यू कैन सी in our above point, availability of favorable conditions, this is one of the features that is why they are developed today, because they faced favorable conditions, they had longer time span for development. In the process of development, they experienced less formalism, heterogeneity and overlapping than the contemporary transitional or developing societies. तो आज की जो societies हैं उनके अंदर ज़्यादा formalism है, ज़्यादा overlapping है, ज़्यादा heterogeneity है, जो western societies ने face नहीं की अपने टाइम पे. So I hope this is clear. Generally in a prismatic society, the pressure for change comes from both internal and external societies. तो जो change का जो pressure होता है वो दोनों internal source और external source दोनों होता है, ठीक है? If pressure is primarily external, formerly by foreign technical assistance programs, it may be called exogenous change. तो अगर कोई external assistance program हो रहा है और उसकी वजह से अगर आपकी सोसाइटी में चेंज हो रहा है, it is called exogenous change. For example, let's say LPG reforms in India after 1991. हम लोगों ने IMF से लोन लिया था. If you remember your economy, we took loan from IMF and that is how we were required to bring in LPG reforms, because IMF said that you have to bring in LPG reforms if you want our loan. So this is an exogenous change. ठीक है, हमने अपने सोसाइटी में चेंज किया because of our external technical assistance program. This is an exogenous change which is happening because of external sources. If the pressure is primarily internal, normally by administrative reforms, it may be called as endogenous change. तो अगर आप administrative reforms करके आप internally अगर change कर रहे हो सोसाइटी को, this is nothing but endogenous change. And if the change is the result of both external and internal pressures, it may be termed as equigenetic. तो equigenetic होगा अगर both external and internal factors are at play. So exogenous change, endogenous change and equigenous change, these are three types of changes in a society as given by Fred W. Ricks. Ricks explained the dilemma of change in the manner that the more exogenetic the process of diffraction, the more formalistic and heterogeneous its prismatic phase. तो जितना exogenetic होगा ना change, जितना आप externally आप change करने की कोशिश करोगे, उतनी ही heterogeneity हेट्रोजेनिटी आएगी, क्योंकि आप खुद ये चेंज नहीं कर रहे हो, राइट। अगर आप खुद एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स ला के चेंज करोगे तो ये फॉर्मेलिटी और ये हेट्रोजेनिटी कम होगी। अगर आप एक्सटर्नल प्रेशर में आके चेंज करोगे तो ये हेट्रोजेनिटी और फॉर्मलिज्म भी ज़्यादा होगा। सो द मोर द एक्सोजेनेटिक इज द चेंज, द मोर विल बी फॉर्मलिज्म एंड हेट्रोजेनिटी इन योर सोसाइटी. The more endogenetic, the less formalistic and heterogeneous. So I hope this point is clear to you. Thus, the greater the formalism, heterogeneity and overlapping, the greater the state of exoprismatic and lesser the endoprismatic character of change. So these are the new terms, exoprismatic and endoprismatic. So if you are changing a society because of external sources, that is exogenous change. And if your society is undergoing exogenous change, your society is called as exoprismatic society. I hope this is clear to you. Exogenous change की वजह से एक्सोप्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटीज़ बनती हैं. सो जितना ज़्यादा फॉर्मलिज्म होगा उतना ही एक्सोप्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी होगी, जितना कम फॉर्मलिज्म होगा उतना ही एंडोप्रिज्मेटिक सोसाइटी होगी. दिस इज व्हाट फ्रेड डब्ल्यू रिक्स सेज. सच अ डिफरेंस अकर्स बिकॉज विद एंडोजेनिक चेंज इफेक्टिव बिहेवियर प्रीसीड्स द क्रिएशन ऑफ न्यू फॉर्मल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. तो जो बिहेवियर होता है आपका, एंडोजेनस चेंज अगर आप कर रहे हो, अगर आप खुद चेंज ला रहे हो सोसाइटी में, तो आपका जो बिहेवियर होगा वो उसी तरह का होगा कि आपको चेंज लेके आना है. सो दिस इज व्हाट दिस पॉइंट सेज. इफेक्टिव बिहेवियर प्रीसीड्स द क्रिएशन of formal institutions, but in an exogenous transformation the sequence is reversed. तो अगर आप exogenous change लेके आ रहे हो, अगर आप external pressure में change कर रहे हो, तो आपका जो behavior है, आपकी जो सोच है वो बदलेगी नहीं. तो इसके लिए formalism और heterogeneity आएगी. Paradoxically, in their bid to absorb the externally induced change in the shortest possible time, prismatic societies face the possibilities of higher formalism, heterogeneity and the severity of revolutionary tensions. This is the same thing, revolutionary tension फिर भी हो जाएगा. So this is the problem of change in the prismatic society. I hope this change thing is clear to you. So with this we are done with today's session, and in the next session we'll see at something which is modified prismatic theory. So Riggs has again modified his prismatic theory, which he had already modified the aggregate transitia industria model. तो रिग्स हमेशा मॉडिफाई करते रहे अपनी थियरी को. पहले एक थियरी दी, फिर मॉडिफाई करके एक दूसरी थियरी दी, फिर मॉडिफाई करके एक मॉडिफाइड प्रिज्मेटिक थियरी दी. विल स्टडी दिस इन आवर नेक्स्ट सेशन. सो सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल इफ यू डू नॉट वांट टू मिस द नेक्स्ट सेशन. ऑल्सो इफ यू लाइक द कंटेंट दैट आई हैव प्रोवाइडेड, प्लीज लाइक द वीडियो, कमेंट ऑन द वीडियो एंड शेयर द वीडियो. थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग टू दिस सेशन. थैंक यू वेरी मच. होप टू सी यू सून इन माय नेक्स्ट सेशन. पीस आउट.